Hey everybody, B-rad here. Today we're going to be making a wooden turkey out of a pallet. So some of the tools you'll need to take the pallet apart. I use a sawzall, you're going to need a pry bar, and a couple of hammers. I'll probably time lapse this so it won't take as long. Alright, that ought to be enough for one turkey at least, so we'll catch you in the basement. Okay, down in the basement now. Next thing we gotta do is make these circles here. I usually do a 10-inch, a 9-inch, and an 8-inch. And I'm gonna use the wider boards that came off of there. I'm gonna run them through the joiner to get at least one edge straight, and then straighten up the other edge on the table saw. So let's get started. Okay, now we got some straight edges on at least one side, and I'll cut them down on the table saw for the other side. That way we can glue them together. Okay, so I got the fence set to straighten up the other edge of the boards. They're going to be about 5 inches. That way I can get almost a 10-inch circle out of it. So we'll just run all these through. That way we'll have straight edges on both so we can glue them up. Alright, we got Got them all straight edged on both sides. Now we'll just cut them lengthwise so I can get all 3 circles out of just this wood. Okay, I'm going to cut these the first 2 a little over 10 inches long, that way I can get the 2 10-inch circles out of them. It doesn't have to be exact, as long as you're close enough. And that'll be our 8-inch circle. So we'll get these set up and we'll glue them up. Alright, so I got the boards all ready to glue up. Got my clamps, got some glue. Just make sure all the edges meet up pretty nice. If not, you can always flip-flop boards and see which ones fit the best together. Just put a little glue on there. Got my damp rag here. You can wipe off all the excess glue on both sides. And we'll glue all these up and sit them aside and eat some lunch. There we have it. Now we'll let them sit. Okay, so it's been almost an hour. Gonna go ahead and draw out the circles on each one, and then we'll pop them out of the clamps here. So this first one, I make it about just as big as you can on here, which is just about 10 inches. Then on the next one, to get a good scale, you can just hold your compass on here and get it where you want it. And come over to the next one, get you a circle out of that. And do one more. Make that one just a little bigger. Okay, now we got them all traced out. Like I said, it's been about an hour, so we can go ahead and pop these out of here. Alright, get everything set up over here at the bandsaw using a 1/4-inch blade there. So we're just going to cut these out. It's going to be a little noisy. I'm going to turn the dust on. got the last one. You can see we got something like that going on there. Now we'll head over to the sander and clean them up a little bit. Alright, just gonna go around and clean each one up a little bit so it doesn't look as bad. Okay, so we got the circles here. I'm using the nail gun today. Got about some 1-inch nails in there. Now you're going to position them so that they're not quite centered. You want them just downwards of the center point. So we're just going to put some glue on the back. Oop, looks like I need to turn the pressure up a little bit. Okay, we'll just have to hammer that one in. Okay, and then same thing with the smallest one, just shift it just south of the center point. Okay, then we'll start cutting out its feathers. Okay, now sometimes it's easier to cut the head out first, that way you know how long to make the feathers. So the head, you just want it almost like a spoon shape. Big spoon. Usually just make his neck a little longer than what it probably should be. That way you can cut it down. Hopefully you can see that on there. So I'll go cut it out and be right back. Okay, so I got his head cut out. Like I said, it looks kind of like a spoon. But just going to put a little glue on it down there at the bottom. Now you want it to go right in the first, on that second layer, not on the top, but the second layer. You're just going to get it lined up how you want it. And shoot a couple nails in. So there you can see, starting to look a little bit like a turkey. We'll go ahead and cut out his nose and his 2 eyeballs and his gobbler, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so we got his gobbler cut out, or whatever you want to call it. And to do that, we've also got his nose, which is pretty much just a little triangle. And then the eyeballs are just a couple of little pieces of dowel rod. But I'll probably wait till last to put all this on, because this is the more delicate stuff which you don't want to break off when you're trying to get the wings and all that good stuff on there. So there's kind of how it'll look once you get everything on there. But we'll start cutting some feathers. Okay, for the first main feather that's along his back behind his head, that one I usually just use the whole width of the pallet board, and then at the top just have it come to a point. So I'll go cut that up real quick. Okay, got the main feather cut out. That'll be the one that is directly behind his head. You know, we'll put it so it's almost double the height of his head. And we'll go ahead and cut out a couple of more that will each come just off to the side here. Okay, so we got the matching set of second feathers. Now each of these will just go right here along the side, almost even with his head, probably up just a little bit. Now we just have to do a set of smaller ones that stick more out to the side than up. So I'll get those cut and sanded and come back to you. Okay, now I have a matching set of little side wing things. Like I said, these kind of more stick out to the side instead of up. So we'll flip them. I usually try to mark them where you want them, because you're going to be nailing them from the back. So I usually just get them close and then just make a circle, trace the circle along the back. That way you can kind of guess where they go. So we'll flip them over and get them nailed in. Okay, so you're going to want to put glue on it, obviously. And then, like I said, I made that, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, a little pencil line. That way you can kind of get it lined up, holding it. Make sure you have it centered to the head of the turkey. And once again, I'm just using 1-inch nails. Okay, and you can see there, starting to look like a turkey. Next thing we'll do is go ahead and cut some legs. I usually do the legs about 1-inch square or so. And I'm gonna be using this piece of wood that came from the pallet also. These are the middle runners. As you can see, there's all the nail marks. Just make sure you get all the nails out of there, that there's nothing broke off in there. So I'll cut these up and I'll get back to you. Okay, got the legs cut. These are about 7 inches long because they're gonna go up behind them, and then you can judge how long you need to make the legs by the size of the turkey that you're making. So you just want to get them close. So, got 2 legs on there. Now we'll cut some feet out and put them on. Okay. Got 2 feet cut out. And it doesn't really matter what the shape is. I don't have a plan or anything. You just cut them out, sand them. You can even sand these edges here to make them a little more pointier. The thing with these is, you want to get them spaced out so that the legs are touching both the feet, Now since these legs are at an angle, you know, this way, you're gonna have to sand them flat this way so that the feet will match up to the legs real easy, nice and flat. So get it kind of where you want it, and then you can take a pencil and just rest it on the foot itself and drag the pencil along, and that'll get you your mark for your angle. So hopefully you'll be able to see some of this. There's the pencil line there. I just drug that pencil along the foot, and that'll give you the angle that you need to make it flat with the foot. So then you just got to sand that off real quick. Okay, so you got this sanded down. Now, tricky part is getting these feet on there right. So usually just get them, and you want most of the foot, you want more foot in front of the leg than behind the leg, because they usually want to tip forward. So I usually just get them where I want them and then mark two sides of the legs. That way, when you're trying to nail these on, you can get them where they should be. You can see the feet. So now, there you go, he's standing. He's a turkey now. Next thing, if you do use nails or whatever, if they do stick out, you're going to want to sand those off, especially if you're going to be putting it on a wood floor in your house or something. You don't want to scratch it up. So I'll go ahead and sand these smooth real quick. Okay, got this sanded smooth on the bottom. Now you're gonna need to glue the eyeballs, the nose, and the gobbler thing on. I usually just glue the eyeballs on last, put the nose and your gobbler piece on first. That way you can get everything lined up. And if you cut this gobbler piece right, it will be down onto this piece of wood here. That way you can get a nail in that. We'll let that sit, and you're practically done. And that pretty much sums it up. Once that glue dries, you're good to go. You can, if you're gonna put it outside, you might want to spray some lacquer or something on it, some varnish of some sort to keep them from rotting away. And other than that, really not too hard. Like I said, it's all just a pallet. The only thing that's not a pallet is the dowel rod. So we'll do some close-ups here so you can kind of see all the layers. Go to the side here. You can see the feet. Like I said, most of the foot's on the front. There's the 3 layers. There you can see how it's glued on. You know, you got your feathers on the back, your 10-inch circle with nothing on it. Your 9-inch has the head glued on. And then on the front board you got your gobbler. So that pretty much sums it up. You can make it pretty easy. Really, the only tool you really need would be a jigsaw and a sander. I used a joiner instead of a sander to clean up the edges so we could glue the circles together. And then I used the bandsaw for pretty much everything. And then just a basic sander there, minus the mess. So, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.